into rivers and seas more than doubled last year. Campaigners say water companies are failing to invest in infrastructure to prevent this, but the industry says the soaring costs of upgrades cannot be shouldered by businesses alone. Julia Chapman visited one river in London where sewage is a particular problem. Have a look.
Britain's tranquil waterways belie a dirty secret. With increasing regularity, mostly in bad weather, sewage is spilled into rivers and seas.
So this is working as it was designed. It's not a malfunction. It's meant to overflow when it can't cope with the amount of rain. It's just that we've sort of sealed so much London with concrete and building on it, and we've not made enough areas to offset that and allow the rain to soak in. So it's negligence, I suppose. The government, the regulators should have had the eye on this, should have known that it's becoming more of a problem and started those efforts to address that much sooner.
Most of Britain's sewage system was built during the Victorian-era. It can be overwhelmed by large volumes of rainwater. Water companies are allowed to discharge sewage into waterways during periods of heavy rainfall. But 2023 saw a record number of sewage overflows. This river alone was on the receiving end of 87 sewage spills last year. Those incidents only started to be monitored in 2019. The government says the way storm overflows are managed is unacceptable. It has set targets that require sewage discharges to be reduced, with fines for water companies that don't comply.
All I can say is that our ambitious storm overflow reduction plan is backed by £60 billion of capital investment. We now monitor every single storm overflow across England and have legislated to introduce unlimited penalties on water companies that breach their obligations. The independent regulator and the Environment Agency have the powers they need to hold water companies wherever they are to account.
A so-called super sewer was completed this year in London to help deal with capacity. But critics say it's an expensive, imperfect solution and will only buy time rather than solve the problem. They argue the best approach is to create more green spaces to absorb rainwater before it mixes with sewage.
We could have flourishing kind of oases of nature. Instead, we've got rivers that are just an extension of the sewage system.
The UK's water industry body has announced a major investment programme to upgrade the sewage system. But it will come at a high cost, one that will likely be borne by consumers. Julia Chapman in London, reporting for DD India.
Now from UK, let's shift our focus